Hello? Hi, everybody! Hello. Sorry for the... Sorry for the late start. I was having a little bit of technical problems, but I think we're good now. So yesterday, we started this new Punishing Grey Raven story chapter. And, today we're gonna hopefully finish it. Alright. So there's a war happening in the Arctic because guy from the past has shown up again, and he's like, I am the rightful ruler of the Arctic Root Union, and I want to conquer the world. And you know, that's bad. And he's using amalgamation to control a bunch of corrupted and bionic mechanoids and such. It's just a big problem. But we're here to stop it. And so is Horse Girl Rosetta. By which I mean centaur, and not girl who likes horses. Unless, I mean, maybe she does like horses. I guess we don't know. She could like horses. It's possible. But anyway, this chapter is kind of interesting because it's got like a tactical map set up, and it's divided into phases. So we did phases 1 and 2 yesterday. Now we're gonna move on. There are 5 phases in total. So we're starting phase 3 now. Let's get started. We start here. Page 13, Creative Thinking. Load multiple minds into a single frame.
Mina, we've got active combat at the base.
The coastal wind carries a damp, salty chill, rattling the sheet metal of their temporary shelter. Dr. Bear jogs over, tablet in hand, past the scattered equipment piled outside. Its screen shows a tactical map, where the base is pulsing with the red markers of live combat zones. So the Babylonians were right. Good thing we shifted our main base to the coast in time. We can't let them get ahead. How's the rush job on the anti-amalgamation modules coming?
We're about 80% there. Some have already been shipped out for fitting on the bionic whales.
And guarding the whale pod?
Not bad. Going around the icebergs was costing us too much time, so I had the crews work with the whales to punch straight through. We'll still lose a little speed, but we should only be delayed about 20 minutes tops.
Excellent. As expected of the best researcher's assistant.
Was that really a compliment for me?
Dr. Mina, could you arrange for one of the modules to be sent to Babylonia later? I'll have the Grey Raven Commandant or a courier bring it to you. More to the point, have you finished reviewing the manuscript? Found anything useful? Having relocated the base to the coast, Mina evaded the warlord's attack. Hi Neo, hi Cole, how are you? I hope you're having a good day, both of you. We're doing more Arctic war things. While remotely coordinating the team to guide the bionic whale pod, she receives a sudden call from Asimov. I have a question. What? The deployed Malkuth unit possesses a transformation capability absent from the original manuscript. How did that happen? You just bathe your dogs in their reeking chaos and zoomies? Oh wow, they got the zoomies. The zoomies. They zoom in.
Transformation? Oh, do you mean that armor skirt? Dr. Mina, we agreed not to add weird extras. They jack up the testing costs.
Weird extras? The Centaur form is meaningful for both the Forest Guards and next-gen frames. Who knew the ice shelf would crack? I was going to remove it before the next round of tests anyway.
And I'll be the one facing the blame. So Asimov, are you saying this function is causing Rosetta's mind instability?
Yeah, Dr. Bear and his little head, and his little, like, suit, and his lab coat. Hi, Ash Frost. I hope you're having a good day.
It is one variable. The human psyche is not structured to accommodate morphological alteration.
So, what's the verdict? If we remove the transformation assembly, does that fix it? You're almost done with the drawing. Ooh, good job! Despite the visible displeasure on her pouting face, Mina's tone lacks any real defiance. It is clear that if Asimov gave the nod, she would set to work without protest.
Not at this time. Your Malkuth reconstruction otherwise matches the manuscript in all key aspects, including that defective black box.
Defective black box? Are you saying we were fed false data?
But that can't be. Dr. Puff is Rosetta's own grandfather. The manuscript is not fraudulent. The calculations are precise. My own formulas confirm the frame possesses overclock potential beyond standard parameters. But there's one condition. Fill up that defective black box.
How's life for everyone? I'm doing okay. I've been a bit, tired today because there was some noise in the morning, and I wore earplugs while I was sleeping to try not to hear it, and I didn't hear it, but the earplugs were also kind of uncomfortable, so that also didn't help. And there's gonna be more noise tomorrow, so I'm not looking forward to that.
Fill up. You don't mean hitting that close to 10,000% value from before, do you?
What kind of noise? Like renovation noise. My mother's getting a countertop put in. Yes. But that's functionally impossible! We already wrote that off as a glitch or a rounding error. Are you seriously telling me Malkuth was designed to run on a bug? Oh, that was you? You were eating the rocks? Well, stop eating the rocks under my bedroom.
Not a bug. A potential. And the calculations support it. This manuscript, this frame, is engineered to wager on possibility itself.
Midway through their discussion, an old-style communicator beside Mina begins to ring. In the harsh Arctic, where signals are brittle and distance is deadly, everyone keeps multiple communication devices on hand. You have work in the morning and you need a balanced breakfast? Well, there are other ways for you to get your necessary minerals.
Dr. Mina, we've located the lead whale Derek in the pod.
Good news now? Fine. Pull all free personnel to that location. Focus modification efforts on Derek first. Once it's synced, it'll lead the rest of the pod.
I've heard of Derek, but what exactly does lead whale mean? Is there a hierarchy among these bionic whales?
No, I told you, you can get your nutrients elsewhere. That wouldn't make you malnourished, it would make you not eating rocks. Like Mina, Asimov quickly processes the discussion, seizing on the key term.
It's not just the whales. Most Arctic machinery works this way. Before the amalgamators, we used swarm protocols. Derek coordinates all the bionic whales, and they in turn direct us smaller machines. Think of them as amalgamators that aren't actually amalgamators.
Can it subsume individual consciousness as Emberia did?
Derek's a mobile command hub. It possesses tens of thousands of mechanical signals at once, orchestrating action, not overriding will. It's about coordination, not amalgamation.
That exact trait, its ability to handle parallel data streams, is why our predecessors used Derek to suppress Emberia. Why so quiet?
Dr. Mina, a theoretical question. Is it feasible to house two or more distinct minds within a single frame?
Huh? What kind of idea is that now? Multiple minds in one frame? Even if they didn't tear each other apart, the consciousness projection would shred the frame. You'd be building a chimera. Her voice, dripping with mockery, dies in her throat. The pieces click into place. Malchus bug, the traits of the bionic whales. Her fingers clutch reflexively at her coat, and her playful demeanor dissolves into a cold, intense glare fixed solely on Asimov. How's Zach? He's just been sitting on his throne, trying to process some data. Just tell me what I need to do. Got another file. Arctic Bionic Whale Intelligence Brief. Intelligence category, Arctic Special Machine Unit Analysis. Source, Arctic Heritage Foundation documents, Coalition battle records, technicians' testimonies. 1. Core positioning. Developed through extensive research by the Arctic Route Union, this large-scale multifunctional Arctic machinery, centered on the flagship unit Lead Whale Derek, integrates combat, coordination, and strategic transport functions into a single platform. It embodies the swarm tactics doctrine prevalent prior to the creation of amalgamators. 2. Background and traits. Design intent. Developed to resolve Arctic machinery issues. Inefficient scheduling and coordination flaws. Designed by mimicking whale pod social behavior. Hierarchical system. Derek, lead whale, integrates thousands of computational modules and coordinates over 10,000 mechanical signals. It functions as a scheduling hub only and does not control consciousness, analogous to a mobile command center. Subordinate units, 20 to 30 units. Operate under Derek's guidance, capable of independent or coordinated assault and transport missions. Each unit is equipped with a deployment bay in its ventral section, a feature previously exploited by enemy forces to deploy Corrupted. Core functions, combat, missiles, ice-breaking systems, coordination, signal interference suppression, previously sustained long-term suppression of Emberia, transport, extreme cold endurance. Sophiasburg 3. This isn't about Sophiasburg or the Arctic Route Union. It's about the people who live here.
Jeez, what is that?
Hetero creatures? Inside the perimeter? All civilians take cover now!
Damn it, what's happening? Weren't we told this sector was secure?
No time for that. We need a plan and fast.
What plan? We shipped every usable asset to the front. We've got nothing left here.
The moment the violent tremors at the front line subside, countless hetero creatures emerge from the frozen sea, horrific and utterly alien. The Arctic inhabitants, with no means to combat such foreign monsters, can only watch in shock. Chaos erupts instantly, both inside and outside the city walls. In the crowded inner districts where women and children seek shelter, a single desperate truth takes hold. If these defenses fall, all is lost.
Evan, those things look even worse than the Corrupted.
Don't say that! We're the oldest here. First we find all the other kids. No one gets left behind.
Right.
At least we've got the gate sector. We can use the buildings for cover. Hold them off as long as we can. Yeah, you're right.
But if that's all we have...
Amid the chaos, voices and footsteps assault the senses. Suddenly, a communication device half buried in the snow erupts with piercing static, slicing through the clamor like a needle.
Can anyone read this? This is a Babylonia unit.
Babylonia? Are they here to help? The person who heard the transmission lunges for the communicator, snatching it up. They press their face close to the screen, voice trembling.
Hello? This is New Sophiasburg. Do you read us? Where are you?
New Sophiasburg. So our signal only reached this far. The people of New Sophiasburg, hearts still alight with wild joy, are doused by the cold wave of disappointment emanating from Babylonia. In an instant, their elation turns to dread.
What's wrong? You're not here for us?
No, I'm sorry. Whatever you're facing, we're actually requesting support. You forgot about the heteros? Yeah, I forgot about the heteros for a bit too. We're under Science Council orders to lay comm lines across the Arctic region. Technicians say they're critical for the front, but we're surrounded by hetero creatures. We need backup. A palpable chill settles over the group, breaths catching in the cold air. Before the construct can elaborate, the first retort cracks the silence. Then, like a spark hitting gunpowder, arguments erupt across the city.
Backup? We can barely hold this place. Sending anyone out would collapse our defenses.
But if those lines are crucial and the front falls, we're dead anyway. It's just a matter of time. Maybe we should just lay down arms. Don't be a fool. You sang praises about the Frostheart Emperor, and look where we are. All the high and mighty are the same.
We just wanted somewhere safe to live.
A gunshot explodes, ringing in the air and freezing everyone in place. When they turn toward the sound, they see Evan and several children thrown back by the recoil. They slam against the wall, their small hands trembling around the gun they still clutch.
Evan? What are you doing?
We have to help Babylonia. They came to help us, didn't they?
We should, but we can't split our forces. We can't fight on two fronts.
Then we fight on one. We do what Rosetta did in the last battle. Blow the city gates. The whole area will flood into an ice sea and the monsters will sink. Then we use the ship at the port to evacuate Babylonia's team. It's big enough for everyone.
You lost your mind? You know how much blood and sweat went into rebuilding this place. Those gate structures are ruins from the old Sophiasburg. We barely preserved them.
Will the people survive that? The civilian guard is right. This gate, this entire sector, is a memento, pieced together by the adults during endless, sleepless nights. For the adults, watching their lost capital slowly resurrect under their own hands has forged a small island of safety in the icy desolation. Evan has long understood from their weary sighs what this city means to them. But now, with tears in his eyes, all he can do is shout.
None of that matters anymore.
What?
He's right. They promised us schools and warm meals, but when we got here, they just put us to work. You drag us on stage to perform when you're celebrating, but we don't even know what's worth celebrating. And those onion dome buildings wasted our last paints. You adults only care about yourselves.
With Evan taking the lead, The other children pour out their grievances. Their words strike like tiny, precise hammers against the adults' hearts. They stand stricken and speechless, mouths slightly agape, as a heavy, suffocating silence descends upon them all.
We don't need these stupid onion domes. We don't need Sophiasburg landmarks. We definitely don't need the Frostheart Emperor.
At this, Evan draws a deep, unsteady breath. Emotion swells in his chest, and his eyes burn with a fire no one has seen before.
Because this isn't Sophiasburg at all. It's new Sophiasburg.
The silence hangs, frozen solid. Then, after what feels like an eternity, someone finally moves. Seize the means of labor with your gun, kids. Yeah. One step, then another. The battle is at a standstill. Prioritize low defense enemies. Okay. Oh. Ah! Missiles! Was that good? Was that us? It looks like it was targeting our position. Disorder and chaos. You've forgotten whose territory this is. Hold on tight, Commandant. New playable character, child with gun. Well, we already have... we already kind of do have child with gun. There's a character named Sophia who uses guns, and she's like 14. Hold on tight, Commandant. The snowfield wind whips against your face as Rosetta cradles you, racing between the skeletal frames of city buildings. Everyone else, do the same. Do whatever you can to leave this combat zone now. Okay, have a nice shower, Neo.
On it.
The soldiers following behind struggle against the blinding storm, fighting just to keep the retreat in sight. But before they can make any real distance...
My leg!
A sharp crack splits the glacier beneath them. In an instant, hetero creatures erupt from the fissures. Their razor-sharp limbs lash out, ensnaring the two soldiers who'd fallen behind.
Help! Someone! Pull me out!
Rosetta, help them! Understood. Commandant, please fall back with the others for now. You push off from Rosetta's arms and land lightly. At the same moment, she draws her blade, spinning back to face the threat.
There are too many.
The words die in the soldier's mouth as three corrupted strike. The energy shield gives a final dissonant hum and fails. In an instant, the soldier is pulled under, swallowed by the ice. Let them go! Now! With a sharp grit of her teeth, Rosetta surges toward the hetero creatures. Her blade flashes, cutting down the tentacles that writhe from the ice. She pivots, sprinting for the downed soldier. But a shadow falls as a hetero creature drops from the building's ledge. Thanks, Commandant. You shoot down the hetero creatures obstructing Rosetta, clearing the path for her to rescue the trapped soldier. Just as the immediate crisis seems resolved, a slender mechanical figure darts from the chaos and slams into her side. Out of my way, construct! You She blocks the strike, but the opening for a counter never comes. Her opponent burns with a berserker's fury. Defense utterly discarded. Each blow is part of a relentless singular goal: to crush Rosetta under a tide of pure, unrestrained power. Why won't you fight me like you did that dragon man earlier? Is this really all you've got? The Ascendant lunges at Rosetta, her battle style savage and chaotic. It's a wild, unrestrained declaration of her existence, just as when they first met. In that chaos, a memory surfaces. Her battle with Rumyantsev grinding to a halt, both ready to shatter the stalemate with whatever brutality remained. That was when she first heard that voice. A split second before her strike would have landed, Rosetta wrenched her blade to a stop. She retreated several paces, assuming a guarded stance, her attention riveted on the vacant air just behind her opponent.
Honored guest, was it His Majesty who sent you to intervene?
Partially, but I was also growing rather bored sitting around. After responding to Rumyantsev, the guest turned a malicious gaze toward Rosetta. Then, a sudden tremor rippled across the landscape. Before it even settled, thick abyssal sounds began to swallow the air. Confronted by the rising threat, Rosetta's command to retreat immediately cut through the chaos. You actually blocked that!
What?
In the next instant, the still smiling woman seizes Rosetta's light sword by the blade and hilt, then slams her violently into the ground. Rosetta! Though Rosetta twists midair to absorb the impact, the force of the blow still radiates outwards from where she lands, pulverizing the frozen earth in a shockwave of dust and debris. Who are you exactly? Are you asking for my name, or what I am? If it's the latter, you already know the answer. I am Duryodhana. As you can see, I am an ascendant. Rosetta lies sprawled on the ground, struggling to recover. You need to buy her time. Talking is your only weapon. Are you the one behind all this? If you mean these hetero creatures, then yes. After all, the Frostheart Emperor's amalgamation only extends so far through the Ascension Network, and the battle wasn't going well. So I decided to lend a hand. To annihilate weaklings like you! The moment she finishes speaking, Duryodhana lunges. Her left foot stomps down with a force that echoes, and she is a blur of motion. Around you, constructs scramble to form a defensive line. Protect the Grey Raven Commandant! Out of my way! Duryodhana unleashes a roar, and a wave of force follows, far greater than anyone anticipated. Shields shatter instantly. Several defenders are flung through the air, their pained shouts swallowed by the din. Then she charges like a rampaging bull, ripping a brutal gap in the defensive line and driving straight for you. You will not harm Commandant Ascendant! But before Duryodhana can press her attack, Rosetta recovers. She twists in midair, light sword in hand, and drives down toward her opponent. Don't be so tense. I never said I'd harm your precious Commandant. Duryodhana evades with an exaggerated backbend, then leaps back. Her eyes linger on you, predatory and intent. After all, if I accidentally finish the Commandant, that child might get quite upset. That child? Ascendant. Child. An image of a blue-haired girl immediately surfaces in your mind. Hey, if you've pieced it together, why not stop fighting and come with me? You get the intel you want, I get my reward. What reward? Why, greater strength, of course. Power that can pass through the filtering. As she speaks, Duryodhana attacks again. She's been searching for an opening throughout your entire conversation, waiting for the moment to charge. Everyone, disrupt her movement! Spread out! Open fire to pin her down! What a nuisance! The command transmits. In response, the construct team fans out and opens fire, unleashing a sudden downpour of energy shots and razor-edged ice that brackets Duryodhana, etching the ground in a chaotic web of impacts. Though Duryodhana cares little about being struck, the destruction of her footing staggers her stance. Rosetta capitalizes immediately, leaping directly into her path. Stop right here! Fine. You first, then! Realizing Rosetta is an immovable obstacle, Duryodhana snatches her right arm in a vice-like grip. When Rosetta tries to counterattack, Duryodhana uses her own body like a weapon, trapping Rosetta's other arm against her side and locking her completely in place. Let's see whose head is harder, construct! Duryodhana gives her no time to react. A crazed gleam flashes in her eyes as she tilts her head back and then slams her forehead violently into Rosetta's. I'll rush over to help. Follow the Commandant! Don't lose focus. Protect Commandant! When did they come? Damn it. As Duryodhana and Rosetta trade vicious blows, hetero creatures swarm the perimeter, forcing every other combatant into a desperate fight for survival. All the while, Duryodhana's brutal headbutts continue unabated, each savage impact spraying vital fluid into the frozen air. Not enough! Through the repeated impacts, Rosetta bides her time, adjusting her stance and waiting. The moment Duryodhana cocks her head for another charge, she slams her forehead forward with devastating force. Her strike connects squarely with Duryodhana's nose, distorting that mask of madness for an instant. The Ascendant only erupts into wilder laughter, her frenzy redoubled. This is a real fight! This is what survival feels like! Her words hang in the air like a death knell. All around, soldiers stiffen and hands tighten. A silent, shared readiness to meet the end. That sound? Derek? A whale's cry echoes suddenly from the distance, its piercing sound cutting through the chaos. In the sky, several missiles shoot upward in a straight line, arcing directly toward your direction. The next instant, the entire district is engulfed. Explosions bloom, and flames and shockwaves devour everything in sight. Nothing but pests everywhere. Everyone on the battlefield, the Ascendant included, throws up defensive barriers the moment the roar sounds. Yet the flames still surge forward, devouring the district. Buildings crumble into ruin, and debris rains down on the combatants. Seizing the moment as the Ascendants reel backward to defend, Rosetta darts away, breaking free from her restraint. She has just begun to calculate her next move when a familiar voice crackles over the comms. Grey Raven Commandant, Rosetta, stay on the line. We've got the key to activate Malkuth. Glad you're both safe. We're near the frozen sea outside the city. Rosetta should be sensing something now. I'm not sure. but I feel a connection forming.
Anyway, Luke, fully activate Malkuth.
How do I do it?
Just trust me. With your consciousness linked to Rosetta's mind, you can trigger it directly through your terminal. The transformation function has to be unlocked now.
At that moment, an unfamiliar string of code flickers across your visor display. Within seconds, it resolves into a hovering executable, its label clear. Malkuth.
It's really here. Then use it! Give the command, Luke!
Rosetta,
Fully activate Malkuth.
answer my call. Malkuth!
Good. The Grey Raven Commandant has given the order. What about our end, Dr. Bear?
Oh, my link with Derek's all set. You can use me as an external port now.
Just as Dr. Bear said, he has already connected multiple cables from the whaleback system directly into his own frame to better control Derek. When Mina gives the command, he turns and exposes his back. The mechanical extensions on his back open up, ultimately forming a large red button, 20 centimeters in diameter.
Let's show the punishing virus what the new Arctic Root Union is really made of!
Her voice brimming with resolve, Mina raises her right hand, clenches it into a fist, and drives it decisively down onto the button.
Shine like an aurora! Malkuth! Welcome back, Neo.
This sounds less depressing. It is. Returning the tide. The instant the button is struck, a feedback signal pulses from Dr. Bear's frame through the cables to Derek. Even through the howling blizzard and the din of battle, the deep rumble of internal mechanisms engaging in engines, igniting, cuts through with perfect clarity. Who's the child with a gun? Her name's Sophia. And she's a child with a gun, with guns, multiple guns. Then, as expected, an aurora appears in the sky, hauntingly beautiful, yet sinister. It is the color of blood.
No, this isn't right.
Mina's voice sharpens with sudden shock. The red light blooms from the city's core, washing across the battlefield until the entire snow-covered landscape is steeped in crimson. Yeah, like your Lalafell with machinist equipped. She actually is a mechanic, so even more so. I told you it wouldn't work. We've been attacked by Fyodor. Tatiana's team durability is dropped. Also attacked by Fyodor. Pulao's team durability is dropped. Uh-oh. That's bad. She has a cool design, and of course they gave the child a bathing suit outfit. Well, at least it's relatively tame. It could be worse. We got a new file. Ascendant Duryodhana Intelligence Brief. Intelligence category. High threat enemy ascendant analysis. Source battle records. Classification. High threat surveillance. 1. Identity. Ascendant intervening in the Arctic War, who appears to share a tactical alliance with the Frostheart Emperor. Direct perpetrator of the hetero-creature infestations during the war, with suspected connection to the incident of Babylonia's fall. Poses a high physical and psychological threat to Alliance forces through violence. 2. Key traits. Combat style. A berserker who employs brute force to breach defenses and physically subdue opponents, e.g., grabbing the light sword barehanded, immobilizing Rosetta by pinning her arms. Routinely utilizes primal attacks like headbutts and exhibits formidable damage resistance. 3. Key associations. Sophiasburg Battlefield. Intervened in the standoff between Rumyantsev and Rosetta, Summoned hetero creatures to surround Alliance forces and subdue Rosetta through brute force. Babylonia's fall. Voluntary acknowledged involvement. While direct evidence is currently lacking, demonstrated hostility establishes clear suspicion. Listed as primary suspect. Me biting fingers emote? Wait, what? Huh? Why am I biting fingers? Ultimate Amalgamator. Everywhere the Aurora reaches falls under amalgamation. Uh-oh. This is gonna be bad. You put the think mod on the emote and it looks like I'm about to bite. Oh, I see. I thought you made it look like I was biting fingers intentionally for some reason. Also, I have a think emote. See? I'm thinking. Ow. My mind hurts. I didn't let you mod that one? I see.
My frame's power supply!
What's with this red aurora? A red aurora, you say? I know this is bad, but... Simon, the corrupted and hetero creatures. Their attacks just became far more aggressive. Lee, all Arctic machines supporting our defense have simultaneously lost combat function. Did something go wrong, Commandant? The promised activation fails to trigger. The red aurora washes over the battlefield, and Rosetta's frame convulses in response. A wave of corruption surges through her mind, locking her in place. With your mind connection severed, she is utterly vulnerable. Duryodhana's fist finds its mark. Your game announced a big new update, and one of them is adding a character that's just a cat in a jetpack. I think I know what game you're talking about. I've seen posts about it. Re-establish the connection. The connection returns and functionality floods back into her frame. Rosetta reacts instantly, plunging her light sword into the ground to catch her weight. She sways, but holds, preventing a collapse. You're just in awe of Jetpack Cat? Jetpack Cat does sound like a cute concept. My thanks, Commandant. What's going on here? Stay sharp, everyone. Although further injury has been avoided, the battlefield has descended into chaos due to the Red Aurora's appearance. Both machines and constructs are experiencing various degrees of malfunction, with the worst cases falling completely unconscious. More durable than I credited, but now that ultimate amalgamation has commenced... Ultimate amalgamation? So many questions, Babylonian! During a previous discussion, you remember Mina also referring to Rosetta's frame as the ultimate amalgamator. From the moment she steps forward, hetero creatures gather behind her like an obedient, swelling tide. They form a shifting, chaotic wall that advances with Duryodhana's every step. Then she raises her hand, a silent command poised to unleash them, to devour all that stands in her path. This ends now! Before she can finish, a sharp whistle cuts through the sky. Several missiles streak down, trailing black smoke. Duryodhana tries to dodge as before, but tentacles lash out from behind her, ensnaring her body mid-motion. Of course. I should have expected this. Before the missiles can strike, more tentacles whip out to wrap around Duryodhana as hetero creatures hurl themselves upon her. The solid wall of creatures that was her defense instantly collapses into a crushing wave, swallowing her whole. Commandant, everyone! You don't like these? You don't like this? Do you mean these things? Because I don't like them either. They're creepy. Why is she being attacked by heteros and tentacles? I don't know. They should have been on her side. The surging wave doesn't stop after devouring Duryodhana. It continues rushing straight toward your position. They turned on her. A crimson light floods the palace as Zack sits motionless upon his throne. The hall is empty, silent, yet the air itself feels heavy, as if every living soul in the Arctic were kneeling before him. So this is the feeling of commanding such a vast flow of information. This is the power of the ultimate amalgamator. I see you looking, Cole. I see you looking. Just as Zack had declared before the battle began, after processing the black box data, he would be able to awaken his full power and become the ultimate amalgamator. That promise became his bargaining chip, and Duryodhana took his place on the battlefield. But there was something that Duryodhana had never learned. The processing had finished before her departure. Zack wasn't waiting idly. He was waiting tactically. He held his power in reserve, poised to deploy it with surgical timing for maximum effect. The timing required to capture all his enemies at once. I may not comprehend what Philotree's Sephira is, but true amalgamation is the power to control all things, to implant thought itself into a being. While the ideal of total mimetic control remains out of reach, Zack's present capacity is entirely adequate for his objective. His control of the corrupted is a direct application of this property. Its mechanism is not authentic Ascension network dominance, but rather mirroring Amberia's function in a form of authority over machinery of Arctic origin. Now I can activate more mimetics, manipulate more foundational thoughts. No one can resist what is etched into their very soul. To him now, the corrupted, the Ascendants, even Babylonia itself are no longer obstacles. As the aurora bleeds crimson light across the sky, Zack looks out into the void, toward his enemies, and delivers his final command. Go. Amalgamate the world. Uh-oh. This is bad. Ultimate Amalgamator, Zack, Capability Intelligence Brief. Intelligence Category, Enemy Core Unit Capability Analysis. Source, Battle Records. Classification Level, Maximum Threat. 1. Core Positioning. Zack, as the Ultimate Amalgamator, dominates the battlefield by controlling machinery, the corrupted, and hetero creatures. He is a direct source of battlefield chaos. 2. Core Capabilities. Mimetic Manipulation. Utilizes his frame's black box to issue commands such as Obey and Attack. Its control spans Arctic machinery, corrupted/hetero creatures, unifying their attack patterns, even compelling self-destruction to form defensive barriers, and constructs, causing mind disruption, with severe cases leading to some complete subjugation. Global information flow amalgamation. Employs mediums like the Red Aurora to achieve invisible surveillance and real-time command transmission, enabling seamless tactical coordination of dominated units. 3. Combat characteristics. Indiscriminate control. Makes no distinction between friend or foe, affecting both the Frostheart Emperor faction machinery and Alliance forces, using only compatibility as the criterion. However, the specific activation methods and hidden conditions remain entirely unknown. So, like, how evil on a scale from cartoon villain to supervillain is Zach? Right now, I'd probably put him as, like, you know, he seems like that typical kind of, like, RPG villain who's like, I'm doing unconscionable things, but I'm doing it to bring peace because people can't be peaceful on their own, so I have to mind control them to be peaceful. That's how it seems. So, like, I guess more toward the super villain scale, end of the scale. Definitely not cartoon villain. Head-on showdown. Right now, the only option is to fight with everything we have. Are you asking because you want to know how morally conscionable it is to be into him?
Are we actually losing?
Hold your ground! If we retreat now, it's over. The unceasing waves of hetero creatures and the bombardments from the frozen sea offered no respite. Under the glow of the bloody aurora, desperation carved itself deeper into each weary face. Is a breakthrough possible? Not really. Everyone's completely drained. Another missile plummets toward your position, striking hetero creatures and damaging the Alliance's defenses. Though identical to those fired by Derek, its target trajectory suggests more of the Frostheart Emperor's whale pods have surfaced, and not just one. What are you doing here? Where's Simon? After the hetero creatures showed up, Simon told me to focus on you first. Figured you'd be their main target, being the linchpin and all. Wait, you said there are other whale pods? Yeah, bet the enemy has been hiding their cards, just like that first whale at the start of the battle. Huh. What's that noise? The air trembles with another deep whale call. Following the sound, you see one of the great creatures surface. From its direction, this must be one of the hidden cards Palma mentioned. Can't believe that bastard's still alive. Which bastard? Theodore, one of the Frostheart warlords. He's standing right on top of that whale. Through your tactical goggles, you quickly locate the figure Palma mentioned. It's one of the warlords you've encountered before. You don't know what history Palma has with this man on other battlefields, but he notices your group and flashes a sinister grin. A hole through the body's no big deal for a construct, right? Then I'll make sure to put plenty of holes in you. Oh hey, it's like he's right in front of me. Fyodor looks kinda like Kazuya Mishima if he had more of a handsome-looking face. Kazuya Mishima. Do I know who that is? Kazuya Mishima. Oh, he's that guy. Hey, can anyone hear me? Rosetta? Grey Raven Commandant? We read you. I'm not entirely sure either. Asimov, didn't you say we could use Derek to build that special mind? That is the theory. By following swarm network principles with a leader node, we can construct a large-scale virtual mind array. With enough participants connected, we should exceed the activation threshold for the frame.
Found a problem. Derek's processing unit's been destroyed.
Destroyed? Could it be... Alpha? Your mind, like Rosetta's, goes to Alpha, the one who once fought on Derek. You can't confirm if that's what happened, but based on Asimov's explanation, you have a strong guess about the current problem. So, Malkuth can't be activated anymore? Not exactly. The processing unit may be compromised, but the bionic whale itself remains a massive data processing center. It can still function as a server, but the core data processing can't be handled by anyone else. Only Derek, the lead whale, has the dedicated computation module. The others are just terminals. I will handle the computation. We have a server here capable of supporting a virtual city, but to ensure stable remote processing. Dr. Mina, guide Derek to crash into this location on the map. As he speaks, Asimov unfolds a satellite map and marks an X on it. Wait, isn't that right in the middle of the enemy swarm? Palma's voice cuts in, sharp, with undisguised skepticism. Setting aside the wall of intercept fire on land, we've also got enemy-controlled bionic whales patrolling the sea. In our current state, you really think we can break through? To achieve victory now, our only option is to activate Malkuth, construct an interference-proof mind array, and then use Malkuth's power to turn the tide. In this war, both Asimov and Mina have acknowledged the immense power of Rosetta's new frame. Just then, another bombardment hits. The shockwaves overturn fractured sheets of ice. Spark-laden debris rains down like hail as hetero creatures press their attack through the swirling dust. But even more suffocating is the red aurora. It swathes the sky and earth, growing thicker, clinging to each soldier like a mist of congealed blood. Even the Arctic machines, equipped with anti-amalgamation modules, can now do no more than resist being controlled. Amid the fierce battle, a nearby construct staggers against a broken wall. Muffled groans escape from beneath his mask as his body shakes uncontrollably. Tiny ice crystals begin to form at his fingertips. It's an abnormal crystallization of vital fluid, triggered by the deadly combination of sub-zero cold and aurora interference. Are you alright?
Feels like something's being torn out of my mind. Vision's blurring too. I'm sorry.
Luke, what's the call? The crimson aurora tears across the sky, spreading devastation in its wake. Mechanical units grind with piercing friction. Constructs collapse to their knees, their metal frames trembling uncontrollably. Several have already lost the ability to fight. Common sense screams for a retreat, but you have only one chance left. Asimov's Derek plan, a desperate gamble that is now your sole viable option. Can the others hold out?
They said there's still a way, right? I'll fight the punishing virus to the end. I'll fight too, if there's still a chance to win.
Commandant, I too. As a commander, I want us to win this battle. In that case, all that's left to do now is... Everyone, begin the breakthrough operation. Roger. Rosetta, Ultimate Amalgamator Capability Intelligence Brief. Ooh! And we're moving on to Phase 4. Intelligence category, Allied Key Unit Capability Analysis. Source, Sophiasburg Battle Records. Mind Synchronization Data. Derek's Cooperation Logs. 1. Core Positioning. Unlike Zack's frame, a control type of forced amalgamation, Rosetta's Malkuth operates as a sharing type amalgamator. It establishes voluntary consciousness connections with Arctic machines and allied forces, enabling cooperative engagement through mutual awareness and distributed capability sharing. This allows coordinated resistance against Zack's control network. Yeah, Phase 4. 4 doubloons. 2 core capabilities. Mind resonance. Instead of force manipulation, it establishes consciousness connections with commandants, Arctic machines such as Derek, and allied constructs. This synchronizes knowledge and awareness between all parties, enabling autonomous coordination without direct commands, while maintaining operational stability. Adaptive Combat Transformation maintains the function of dual combat transformation. The humanoid form is optimized for close quarters assault, while the centaur form prioritizes mobile coordination, which enables rapid traversal of the battlefield, real-time ability transfer, causality evacuation, and strategic redeployment of key assets. 3. Intelligence gaps. After the full activation of the black box, the upper limits of matrix sharing capabilities remain unknown. Alright, Phase 4 begins. Capture luck. I'm ready to catch some luck. Is it that easy? The battle rages on, turning the field into a vast, churning grinder. Walls shatter and crumble under relentless fire. A thick pall of ice, dust, and gun smoke hangs in the air, sustained a lurid crimson by the shifting aurora. The howls of hetero creatures, the shriek of metal, and the agonized cries of soldiers fuse into a single deafening roar, borne on the wind across the frozen wastes. Damn it, we're stuck. Can't punch through it all. Commandant, the warlord's got me pinned. I can't break free. We're barely holding position over here. Commandant, we need to fall back now. Shh. Did we really retreat now? To reassess this situation, you turn your attention back to the battlefield. Underground factory lines have reactivated. Corrupted and hetero creatures swarm from the tunnels, forming fresh waves for the Legion. But on your side... Everyone is at their limit. Once high morale is bleeding away with each protracted minute of the slaughter. Then, across this landscape of pain and despair, a silver blade flashes. Its light cuts through the crimson haze, and through your thoughts. Victory is still possible. If we retreat now, this land will fall to the Frostheart Emperor. And we're not fighting alone. Countless soldiers have joined this battle.
If we pull back now, their sacrifices will mean nothing. Pretty words don't win fights. We're trapped. So's Derek. You got a magic trick to get the whale to its position? We wait. What? Rosetta raises her light sword and charges back into the horde. With every flash of her blade, another hetero creature falls. Over the communicator, her voice is calm, with the serene steadiness of someone who has survived 100 battles. There's still one chance to turn the tide, Commandant. In this land, there exists a force even the Ascendant fear. The Forest Guards? Diana promised she'd return. She never breaks her word. So until then, my duty is to make all necessary preparations.
Hi, Wesley. How are you? I hope you're having a good day today. Thank you for coming along.
As the hetero creatures target the exposed Rosetta, she does not evade. Instead, she drives her light sword to its limit, and the blade erupts with blinding radiance. You hear yourself? If this goes on, everyone will... I know. Pull the wounded back now. Anyone who's unsure should retreat too. You as well, Commandant. This area is getting more dangerous by the minute. You're vital to this battle. Evacuate to safety with the others. How about reduce our mind connection efficiency? Commandant, you can retreat to the maximum effective range and preserve. And observe. After that, we adapt. Besides, even if our mind connection breaks, this frame won't shut down immediately. I think it should hold. Rosetta is telling you to leave her if the situation turns. For her, this is a final stand. I'm not leaving you alone. Commandant? But... Everyone, are your orders clear? Fine, let's do this. We've come this fucking far anyway. This better really be the last time. I'll handle the wounded. As they watch Rosetta weaving through hetero creatures and bombarding explosions, everyone, Palma included, seems to draw something from it. A faint hope, yet absolutely vital. At this point, there is no turning back. Retreat now, and the Arctic Root Union will pay a far steeper price later. However cruel, this is the daily reality of life on Earth. Dr. Bear, push all of Derek's engines to max output. Those engines will blow if we push them. We won't have a way back. If we don't survive this, there won't be a back. Push them to the breaking point. Mina's voice crackles through the comms next. She is regrouping the bionic whale pod for another assault. Listen up, blonde boy. Your opponent is me, Frostheart Warlord Rumyanthev. I'll finish you in 5. By the way, Simon, you seem to be throwing up less this time. I'll throw up after we win. That's the plan. Who the hell was who? You have to be more specific. This is the final stand. Outnumbered and outgunned, everyone is fighting with the desperate, unwavering resolve of those who have nothing left to lose. The Freaky Dragon Man? He was there before. He's one of the Frostheart Warlords. One of the big enemy generals. Once you've successfully broken through, anyone, support the whale pod immediately. You never saw his portrait? Yeah, that's him. He's Dragon Man. It is never an order, only a desperate hope. And so you keep fighting, shouting into your terminal, praying for a miracle to descend upon the battlefield, until... Sorry to keep you waiting.
The perseverance finally turns the tide of battle. The relentless battle yields its reward. The moment of luck has finally arrived as hoped. Reinforcements! Mulkuth. Begin amalgamation. Luck has never been on my side. From the day I became a forest guard, from the moment the Arctic Root Union plunged into crisis, I knew luck would never find me. Your timing is impeccable, forest guards. You're one to talk about timing. What's your game, waking up at a moment like this? Atop a bionic whale, Fyodor's dagger clashes with Diana's spear tip. Their duel, one of countless identical battles, erupting across the controlled pod. The forest guards turn the terrain against their foes, leaping onto the bionic whales. Yet for every warrior that lands, swarms of corrupted pour from the whale's chambers in defense. Amid the surrounding chaos, Dr. Mina guides Derek forward with steady purpose. Good! Keep pushing! Position the other whales as barriers! Dr. Mina, computational resources are ready. Stop rushing me! Almost there! We can't let them succeed. Fire torpedoes! Don't you dare! I'm no warrior, yet here I am, forced into duels all day. Woman, what's your name? Spectre of the past? You're not worthy of knowing my name! Diana drives her spear at Fyodor once more. In response, he draws a second blade with a flash of irritation, catching the spearhead between his crossed knives. Manners are truly a lost art these days. Rosetta, draw them away! Leave it to me. Dr. Mina's team will reach the designated point in 2 kilometers. Luke, are you prepared? We're set. Ready at any moment. Asimov's words leave the entire front line on edge, nerves wound so tight that even the searing sensation from the red aurora seems to dull. Then, from within the heart of the hetero creature swarm, a piercing, ripping sound erupts. Excellent! Excellent! The figure, until now pinned beneath the massive hetero creatures, suddenly erupts with force. It sends countless monsters hurtling through the air. They crash down onto the ice, shattering into bloody pulp. Playing dead paid off! Who knew I'd find something so close to Phylotree's Sephora beside Zack? Construct, you've caught my interest too! Hand over that power! The words are still in the air when the Ascendant lunges forward like an arrow loosed from a bow. Hey, anyone who can move, protect Rosetta! On it! Stay back! Just keep your distance! Rosetta, what are you planning? I have a strong feeling now that I can defeat her. 1 kilometer to go. And show her what you've got. As the words hang in the air, Duryodhana's fist slams into Rosetta. This time, she is not sent flying. She braces herself, driving the armored plates of her skirt into the earth, and meets the Ascendant's blow with her crossed blades. I'm loving this Narwhal remix. It's very, very good, very climactic. I thought we settled this! It's only over when one of us is dead!
Well said.
800 meters remaining. Hearing Asimov's update, Rosetta buries her twin swords in the ice. As Duryodhana's fist comes hurtling toward her, Rosetta catches the wrist, uses the woman's own momentum against her, and spins to smash her into a fractured section of wall.
You!
Commandant, please strengthen the mind connection. I'm going all out.
Go, Rosetta!
She yanks her dual swords free and charges. Duryodhana meets her advance with a savage swipe, her claw ripping through the air in a piercing shriek. The displaced air whips ice particles into a vortex of spinning blades.
So instead of running, you charge, construct! You really think that whale will reach its destination?
Derek has been intercepted by hetero creatures 500 meters from the target point.
Can anyone out there help?
What? The shocking news comes at the worst possible moment. Duryodhana seizes the opening, driving her fist straight into Rosetta's abdomen.
You might have stopped Fyodor's whale, but now no one's left to handle my hetero creatures.
As the words leave her mouth, Duryodhana launches another punch, forcing Rosetta back into a defensive stance. Contact Mina for a status check. No good. I can't reach them either. We'll have to rely on satellite tracking to locate them. So the op's a bust. No, it's not over yet. Dr. Mina, Derek, and the others are still fighting.
Fighting? In your dreams. Soon my hetero creatures will swarm that whale. Once I've subdued you, all that power will be mine. That's assuming your hetero creatures can actually defeat Dr. Mina's team, Ascendant. Construct!
Duryodhana's mechanical arm surges with energy, its power multiplying as it arcs toward Rosetta, nearly engulfing her completely. Yet she stands her ground. Dr. Mina and the others promised they'd make it, so I have only one task. Trust them, and be ready when the time comes.
You really think you'll be that lucky?
Duryodhana unleashes her accumulated power, aiming straight for Rosetta's head. It is her most devastating strike yet. If it connects, the battle will end in an instant. A male voice suddenly cuts into the channel. Behind his words lies a faint rhythmic backdrop, the chirping of bionic machinery, or perhaps the sound of open sea and sky. We're the fleet accompanying the forest guards. Our hastily assembled attack vessels are in position. Command will be transferred to the Grey Raven Commandant shortly. Yeah, not the insta-kill move. A cluster of allied signals flickers to life on the tactical display. The next move is suddenly perfectly clear. So many reversals of fortune so quickly. Attack now! Distant tremors and whale songs resonate in a sudden, eerie chorus. A moment later, Dr. Mina's voice returns, her transmission still garbled and broken.
Luke, order Rosetta to initiate transformation now!
Wait, you haven't reached the designated position. Something goes wrong again. It is certainly a risk, but to defeat Duryodhana now, you cannot wait for Derek's arrival signal. Instead, you must trust that they will reach the target position just as Rosetta activates Malkuth. Asimov's concern, however, is well-founded. If something goes wrong and Rosetta's consciousness collapses like before, the consequences would be unimaginable.
You think I'll just let you succeed?
Stop Rosetta. Duryodhana's pupils contract sharply as her fist descends with lethal intent.
Bastard!
Rosetta blocks the blow at the last critical second. She doesn't yield a step, even as Duryodhana's attack presses down with overwhelming force. I've never counted on luck, And the day I understood that, I swore I'd always be ready. Don't need to get ready if you stay ready. So when the moment comes, if luck ever does turn my way, I'll seize it without hesitation. Commandant, I want to win. I need to win this. Rosetta's resolution is unmistakable. Her passion, transmitted through the mind connection, signals that the right moment has arrived. If that's the case. Shine like an aurora, Rosetta! The words might sound theatrical, but they surge from a wellspring of conviction in your heart. A promise to carry this resolve, intact and burning, straight to Rosetta. And also, I mean, how could I not say that? When given the option to, I mean, of course I would. In that moment, time slows. Beneath the crimson aurora, Rosetta is haloed in white light. Her eyes blaze, not with determination alone, but with a final, absolute refusal. To break from her perpetual streak of misfortune. To safeguard this single chance amidst the desperation. To honor every second she has endured to make it this far. At last, she seizes her luck. Codename Malkuth. All systems operational. Array deployed. I will smash through every obstacle in my way. Yeah! Yatta! The Yatta team inbound for support. Let me lead the charge. Everyone get ready to move. Okay. We've got 3 fighting forces. Tatiana team strength plus 40, durability plus 40. Oh, for all of the teams? Nice! How's the siege? Going much better now. As you can see, oh, there's still one up here. File obtained. Unknown musical piece. Eh? Intelligence category record file. Information source. Rosetta, Grey Raven Commandant, Coalition testimony. This musical recording was recovered in the Old Sophiasburg by the Grey Raven Commandant and accompanying personnel. After examination, no hidden information was found, and it is believed to be a standard remnant artifact. The piece carries a mournful tone, focusing on the sins of those who came before, and the descendants who passively inherit that burden. Guilt turns into wind and snow that blankets the world. Every soul walks within it as a solitary pilgrim. Oh wait, I just got what your thing meant, Cole. It's Withering Clown. I get it. Instead of Withering Crown. Withering Clown. Paramount. In this unmatched form. Time for some more gameplay. You know, after this scene. The crimson aurora still stains the horizon when, without warning, a beam of viridian light pierces through a gap in the clouds. The two lights twist together in midair, the red ferocious, hungry to devour everything, while the green shines with unyielding resilience, steadily pushing the bloody hue back. Even the burning sensation in the wind begins to fade.
Huh. I can move again.
I'm not shaking anymore. And my mind, the burn stopped. The best jokes hit 1 to 5 business days later. As one of my friends says, the last horse crosses the finish line. What is that green aurora? A physical phenomenon generated by Rosetta's frame via her mind array. The red aurora follows the same principle. Right. Rosetta! You turn to look for Rosetta, and your gaze is first drawn to her light sword. Its familiar silver sheen is now veiled in a pale, aurora-like green, the very tip trembling faintly against the sky. Okay, I don't know if anybody else noticed, but I felt like the transition to this art happened at like the perfect time in the music. I care about things like that. Huh? In the distance, a wall lies collapsed. Duryodhana is nowhere to be seen. No one needs to ask what happened. She was clearly sent flying by the force of that strike. Commandant. Rosetta lifts her head. The green light falls perfectly upon her shoulder. She says nothing more. She only looks your way, waiting for the command to claim victory.
Go, Rosetta!
Rosetta, moving out. Let's go!
Ah! No! Ah! I skipped it by accident! Damn it!
Okay, let's try that again.
I hit the skip button by accident!
Rise up, warriors. No matter how dire the odds, we've held our ground till now. We're just one final push away. Follow me, and I will prove the meaning of this war. Victory is within our grasp. Now, as the commander of the Alliance forces, I order all units, charge with me!
Ooh. The budget is budgeting. Rosetta's array has shattered the Frostheart Emperor's influence. How dare you interrupt my bedtime story? Sorry.
Hooks and steel, forward!
It's Centaur time!
It's time to end this war. Morale's high. We can send our soldiers to shut down the corrupted production.
Some plan for that?
The factory's core is in the royal city, behind those high walls. But right now, our soldiers don't have a way in.
A way in. I've got it, Commandant. We can knock down that tower to make a path.
You feel like she'd stab you if you made a horsing around joke? I don't know, I don't think Rosetta's that serious.
Smash through the ice wall! Ah!
At least not all the time.
Think you can stop?
The Ascendant is back!
Centaur, stay put.
No.
Hold her back. Let her see the true spirit of us Arctic folk. Oh? Then try not to die too quickly. In honor of our homeland. Back then, Sophiasburg fervor was all the rage. Everyone thought this place would be the center of the world. The tower is held up by 2 iron chains. Break them, and we've got a clear path.
Leave it to me. 3, 2, 1, fire!
Thanks, Lee.
Rumi and Sev, gather all available forces.
Okay, good night, Neil. Don't munch on rocks in my house. Good night. Sleep well. Wait. I guess maybe I go here to summon Derek? Ah, yes.
It's good to hear your voice again, Derek.
I got an achievement. Say hi to Derek. Thank you. Hi, Derek. Granny. That reminds me of a thing from like one of the earlier episodes of Critical Role, where like, someone is given food and they're like, "What is this? Is it wood?" And it's wood, and she's just like, "Well, at least it's elm." Now the fucking whale is named Derek. Yeah, the whale's named Derek. And I said hi to Derek.
Sorry, I can't hold back the enemy's whale formation.
We're just diving into the chaos.
Take this!
She's strong. Stronger even than me. That blonde one.
Time to finish this.
Investigate the statue again?
Journey to the unknown stars. I heard Sophiasburg was big on space science.
More chains to destroy.
Locked on, Lee. Now, take out the second one.
3, 2, 1. I
Take-
got this.
Thanks, Lee, again. Sniper Elite.
These buildings will crumble once the ice support's gone. Commandant, if we break down the wall, it might clear a path. Commandant, does this bring us closer to the tower?
Fill the main bridge's gap. Secondary target. Go through the gap. Eh? Oh, this camera angle is a bit wonky. What am I supposed to do? Oh, that way? Eh? No, this isn't right. What am I missing? Oh. Okay. Okay. It was right there.
I can feel everyone's thoughts on the battlefield now. Commandant, let's break through and finish this now! Don't worry about it. Think you can stop this?
Oh, is that how we're bridging the
Pull
gap?
it off, Chief. No one, Alma, get everyone here.
There's a path! We've got a way to the Royal City!
We've made it this far! All units, charge!
Yeah. The centaur charges through the enemy ranks like a tempest. Her silver body reflects the gleam of the ice, 4 hooves shattering the frozen earth. Each thrust of her blade breaks corrupted apart in her wake. Rosetta bursts from the encirclement like an arrow through ice, scattering the horde behind her in a whirlwind of severed limbs and shattered parts. On the battlefield of Sophiasburg, nothing can withstand her. Charge with me! Eat this, you freaks! The sounds of combat tear through the polar wind as green and red auroras writhe violently overhead. Mina swings her ice-breaking hammer, crushing a corrupted to the ground. Though its head is slick with black mechanical oil, her grin only sharpens, wild and feral. With this array boosting me, I'm unstoppable! Let me show you the real power of my Arctic relic, this icebreaker!
What are you doing, Dr. Mina? The array isn't calibrated for humans. Stay put and don't move.
Are you nuts? You expect me to just stand here as target practice?
Ignoring a panicked Dr. Bear, Mina backhands another corrupted into the frozen sea and immediately opens her comms channel. Hey, Asimov! Cut to the chase! What is this amalgamation tech, really? Is now really the best moment for a theoretical discussion? I've vented enough steam for now. Dr. Bear, you're hooked into the array, aren't you? Cover me for a minute.
Just don't do anything crazy, alright? Time to feel this Ursa's fury punishing virus.
Alright, out with it! I hate being kept in the dark. The chief technician lets out a sigh. I'll send you a detailed report later, but put simply, amalgamation technology is a bridge connecting individual minds. Its ultimate objective is to construct a vast consciousness network, the amalgamation array. I saw that much firsthand. Everyone linked gets a massive power boost, even starts using tech they shouldn't understand. It's not just enhancement, it is completion. We previously misidentified the instability in the Arctic Root Union's humanoid hybrid minds as a flaw. In reality, it was a deliberate design gap. Are you saying they engineered humanoid hybrids specifically for amalgamation? Correct. Bionic machines possess dedicated amalgamation access points. Non-humanoid collectives induce mind instability, but these perceived defects perfectly complement amalgamation's requirements. The technology's purpose is to construct a macro array from countless individual nodes, recalibrating each unique entity, from individual to collective and back again. So after the amalgamation, they become complete. That explains the historical obsession with perfecting humanoid hybrid frames. Ultimate Amalgamator Malkuth, a term Mina recalls from the manuscript during her talk to Asimov. This, she now understands, is the key. Complete doesn't just mean the amalgamator is finished. It means the entire system, including its subordinate frames, is now whole. Shared consciousness, mutual reinforcement. That is the true purpose of amalgamation's power. A communal existence defines Malkuth's core strength. But if that's the ideal, what's with the Red Aurora? What kind of amalgamation is the Frostheart Emperor running? A corrupted variant. Similar to Amberia's prior misuse, while she employed the power of amalgamation, her core methodology was appropriation, subsuming other nodes within the array as mere extensions of her own will.
But wouldn't that break the proper connection between the amalgamator, the humanoid hybrids, and the bionic machines?
Connection is not the requirement. One only needs to activate the combat modules. Immersion in anger teaches hatred, a principle applicable to any thinking entity. Complex consciousness synchronization is unnecessary. Implanting a single dominant emotion or command suffices.
No synchronization needed. Wait, so he doesn't need an anchor like Derek in our case?
Indeed. I suspect our initial activation failure was within his anticipated parameters.
Too bad for him, we got it working in the end. Speaking of which, what exactly did you connect to handle the processing load?
A large-scale server cluster, provided by an associate who operates under the designation the Unwinged.
Oh, hey! It's Elysium from last chapter.
The sounds of battle swell once more into a furious roar. Despite the counteroffensive, the two sides remain deadlocked, neither able to gain the upper hand.
We'll hash out the details later. Hang on, Dr. Bear. I'm coming to back you up.
Can't you just stay back, Mina? I told you the array isn't for humans.
Stop your netting! I got 4 achievements.
People of the Snow. We'll have to start again, but that's not a bad thing. I'm taking a drink. I've had to do quite a bit of yelling this stream. There are some intense moments with some intense characters. It was fun doing the voice for Duryodhana, but I'm also kind of straining myself not to be too loud because I'm worried that I'll wake up my parents. Okay.
Evan, that's enough. Evan! Evan, snap out of it!
Evan!
Oh.
But first, the sound of something slipping from his hands. Then, Evan's startled cry. And finally, the man's sigh of resignation.
Evan, are you okay?
My arms. I can't lift them. Wait! The signal. What about the signal?
We've gotta tell everyone to use their indoor voice? Yeah. Why can't everybody in these, dangerous battles just talk quietly? A Dojin protagonist? Wait, which one? Who? Evan first notices his arms are sore and stiff, then quickly remembers the recent chaos. His group had used New Sophiasburg's city gates as bait, successfully boarding the ship and rescuing several constructs on a critical mission. The grown silver-haired man with hair covering his eyes? The one that slapped us awake? Oh, that guy. Then, at the designated location, they scrambled desperately with their equipment. But as they arrived, a grim discovery. Several devices were damaged in the earlier battle.
What do we do now?
Any of you Babylonians know how to fix this?
We're combat models, though it looks like only the mounts are broken.
So we can just use them as they are?
No, we can't. These comm units are too sensitive. Is anyone here around 2 meters tall? Everyone exchanged glances with one another. And immediately they found out the answer. No.
Then let's stack up. Somebody give me a shoulder ride.
Evan raised his hand eagerly, and the other children followed suit. Which one of the kids is gonna get corrupted or smurdered? I hope none of them. But Evan's the only named one here. Hopefully he's safe. It all worked out. We just received word. The frontline operation succeeded. You held out longer than expected, kid.
Don't call me kid. It's Evan.
Hey, Babylonian, what's happening up there? A man standing nearby cuts in, pointing up at the sky. Following the construct's gaze, Evan looks up and beholds the brightest sky he has ever seen. A green aurora spreads across the clouds like crushed gems scattered between the layers. We already saw a kid get devoured by a corrupted machine when you first saw me stream this game. Yeah, I know, but I don't want the children here to die. Just because it's happened before doesn't mean I want it to happen again.
Rosetta?
Evan isn't sure why he called her name, but as he watches the aurora, he can almost see them. Every face, every fighter on that distant battlefield. Almost without thought, he takes a step forward, pulled by a sudden urgent need to know how they're faring.
Kid, come back. No running around.
And Ursa?
Wait, who are you with, Ursa? Don't recognize you. You need to learn to have a more positive outlook. There might be a possibility of Evan dying quickly.
No! That's not the positive outcome.
Came with the support fleet. I'm a bionic from another port. My boss knows your situation. Sent me with a team to keep you secure and to pass on a message. Thank you for your efforts. You are all brave warriors. Whoa, why the tears all of a sudden?
It's just...
Positivity isn't your shtick. It's more dark humor and sarcasm. Yeah.
It's just...
And this game is pretty dark most of the time. But sometimes things go well. I mean, usually the chapters have happy endings, even if you lose a lot in the process. The Ursa pats the crying man's back with a resigned sigh, then instructs the personnel to gather the wounded. Nearby, others pick up rifles and begin to move away from the rescue ships. There might be a possibility of Evan going to be perfectly okay and living happily in Babylonia. And maybe we can adopt him. I'm more of the plucky shonen protag like Deku, but more sniveling and a boy failure? Wait, I'm not helping my case, am I?
Hey, where are you all going?
Those brats blew up our Sophiasburg. As they say this, they glance at Evan. So we're going to get another one back. So they go, turning toward the old Sophiasburg and not looking back. The Ursa just sighs, a sound of pure resignation, before planting a heavy hand on top of Evan's head. That would make Cole the calm and collected kudere? Maybe. I do feel like Cole has kind of a kudere-like voice. Very, very even-toned.
Ow! What's that for?
You, get 2 boats to follow them, and make sure they don't get themselves killed.
Ooh, it's boss fight time. The final amalgamation. Your cuckoo for kudere puffs? Let's see whose amalgamation can claim this frozen land and shape the world's future. There are 3 achievements. Defeat Zack, use precise jump to evade Zack's low attacks, and complete 5 or more precise interactions with the boss. Okay, I'll try. She charges through the enemy lines in her centaur form, ice shattering underfoot. The thunder of hooves and the green aurora crash together against the Imperial gates, revealing the person inside. Hi there. You might be pretty, but that doesn't mean I'm not gonna kick your ass. Zack! You should address me as the Frostheart Emperor, Luke. No, I won't. And Rosetta, you and your comrades have fought admirably in this war. You are truly worthy subjects of my Arctic Root Union. All that remains is for you to submit to my authority. Do this and the war ends. With its 2 ultimate amalgamators, the Arctic Root Union will resume its campaign to amalgamate this world. I will not surrender, nor will I partake in this foolish delusion of amalgamation. It is this fractured, squabbling world that is the true folly. Rosetta, Luke, have you never pondered what it would truly take to defeat the punishing virus? Honestly, I think I've pondered it way more than you, buddy. I mean, have you ascended to a higher plane of existence? I don't think so. I strive for that goal every single day, and then also include all the sassy stuff I just said. Your actions demonstrate resolve, but merely responding to threats is not enough. One who is truly committed to this cause must do more than fight endlessly. One must find the means to eliminate unnecessary conflict at its root. Unnecessary conflict? Infighting. His voice carries across the desolate plain, calm yet heavy, its resonance like the toll of a bell. You mean the war you started? I will not deny my role, but I will make this conflict the war to end all wars. Oh yeah, I've never heard that before. It can be done, it just hasn't been done correctly yet. Okay, buddy. Rosetta, Luke, after fighting your way through Sophiasburg, you must have learned the tragedy that unfolded there. When the punishing virus hit, panic consumed the people. The elite and the common folk turned on each other for scraps of resources. Social order disintegrated. Amid that chaos, The corrupted infiltrated the city's power core from the shadows, corrupting Sophiasburg from its very heart. To contain the virus, I was left with no choice but to detonate the city alongside a handful of loyal companions. It was not the punishing virus that destroyed Sophiasburg. It was humanity, tearing itself apart. You can admit he's in over his head with that mindset. Yeah, he's in over his pretty little head. And now, nothing has changed. Everyone pays lip service to cooperation, while secretly calculating their own advantage, pursuing their own narrow interests. Fighting in isolation led to our crushing defeat, to Sophiasburg's ruin. And now, I see it plainly. Humanity is poised to repeat the very same mistake. These problems cannot be solved by forcibly unifying the world. Yeah, like, even if you did unite the entire world under a single banner, there would still be infighting. Wrong. This is precisely the problem that only world unification can solve. Human conflict springs from conflicting wills, but will is not innate. It is implanted in the mind by mimetics, societies, nations, ideologies. It is these disparate, fragmented mimetics that prevent unified thought and scatter humanity's strength. Conversely, if we forge a single perfected paradise, we can erase these useless mimetics. Yes, so just discard individuality and become a hive mind. No, yes, that sounds perfectly reasonable. Then, and only then, can humanity unite its full strength and return to our promised Eden. You've read too many comics. Actually, on the contrary, I think you haven't read enough comics. Because if you had read more comics, then you'd know that this never works. Erase useless mimetics. How is this any different from what the Corrupted or the Red Tide do? It is fundamentally different. The Red Tide merely devours, reducing all to nothingness. My path will give birth to the strongest mimetic of all. No, you're wrong about that. And I would know. I've interfaced with the Red Tide. As a son of Sophiasburg, as one who has sacrificed everything to become the Frostheart Emperor, I will have this mimetic be named the Arctic Root Union. He lacks media literacy. Yeah, he does. Come on, man. Play an RPG. I will be honest on like a philosophical perspective. I do honestly think that consumption of fiction and like literature, stories and such is a big important part of learning morality. At least it was for me. As Zack speaks the words, Arctic Root Union, his gaze is both sharp as steel and burning with fierce passion. What drives him isn't greed, but something closer to pure conviction. He truly believes that only the Arctic Root Union can lead humanity toward genuine unification and strength. This is my final offer. Swear fealty to me, or stand as an obstacle to my amalgamation of the world. Your grand vision annihilates free will. I will never allow the Arctic Root Union to return to its past, no matter the cost. Let's end this war, Rosetta. Commandant, I will secure our victory. Zack falls silent, his weapon sliding free as the crimson aurora churns overhead. Rosetta shifts her weight forward in her centaur frame, hooves pawing the ground as energy thrums along her blade. Both are poised for battle.
Come then. Prove your conviction with everything you have, as I shall with all that I possess. Let us see whose vision of amalgamation will claim this Arctic land and become the future of this world.
Well, you're about to become the final boss in an RPG.
Let this battle decide who will shape the future of the Arctic.
Well, his voice was higher than I expected.
Let's settle this, Zack!
Zack will cast low attacks indicated by double yellow diamonds during battle. Time your jump to dodge these attacks. Dodging a low attack through a precise jump briefly slows time. After a precise jump, use basic attacks when time is slowed to quickly close in on Zack and interrupt his actions. Rosetta can trigger precise jump when using Phantom Descent in the Forest Guard Mimic, or Shadow Reversion and Omnidirectional Dodge in Nessos Mimic. Give it a try. Like that.
Think you can stop this?
Ah! Oh, that was a low attack. I could have... Damn it.
Piercing through! Unleashing full power! Get ready to be crushed!
I am Zack, the Frost Heart Emperor, the last Sultan.
Ah!
Think you can stop this? Too slow!
That was a lot of wind-up, buddy.
Clearing a path!
Let's begin.
Switching form.
Royal X, fierce.
Unleashing full power! Get ready to be crushed!
Weakling.
Clearing a path!
Even if he was successful in his ideals, that would be a tall glass to fill. He would inevitably make him go insane trying to protect this perfect place. Yeah, it's just not... It's not feasible.
Don't worry about it. Think you can stop this?
Ah!
Switching form.
Time for phase 2.
Commandant, that's no ordinary power. We need to get back and end this fight now! Won't stop now!
Oh, is there like rapping now?
I would let everything I've fought for be in vain. In the name of the Frostheart Emperor, I claim this power and glory.
Oh? Oh? Oh!
Witness the power that amalgamates the world.
If this is what it looks like, no thank you.
Whipping form.
Ah.
Piercing through.
Oh, he's immune to Matrix now.
Too slow. Don't worry about it. Switching form.
You have to understand. Only amalgamation can save humanity.
Switching form. Unleashing full power. Get ready to be crushed. Think you can stop this? Don't worry about it. Hooks and steel! Forward!
I missed again.
By the power of amalgamation,
Uh-oh.
I shall freeze the world.
Well, he's doing some Shiva shit.
Out!
Behold the power of the sovereign.
Unleashing full power! Get ready to be crushed!
This power, can you handle it?
Don't worry about it. Think you can stop this? Clearing a path! Switching form. Unleashing full power! Get
She is a
ready to
centaur.
crush! Clearing a path! Too slow!
Uh-oh. Haha!
Switching form. Piercing through.
I love the close-up on her face during her ultimate.
For the Arctic Ground Union, heed my commands. Freeze the seas. I will become the world's one true ruler.
No. Is there something I could have done to avoid that?
Quit swelling. Dive into my flesh.
Too slow. Switching form.
Take that! Shit.
Unleashing full power. Get ready to be crushed.
It sure can.
The enemy can fight no more. Coming. We've won.
The green aurora surges across the horizon like a tidal wave, suppressing the dark crimson trails below. The movement mirrors a clash on the ground, where Rosetta's blade locks Zack's own advance in place. It ends here, Zack. As the Frostheart Emperor, I will not be defeated. Sophiasburg fell long ago. What meaning does your empty title hold now? Then what, pray tell, are you fighting to restore? You're cheering, but you're also sad, Cole. Is it because he's pretty and he lost? Zack suddenly sweeps his ice-infused lance with a wide, forcing arc, driving Rosetta back half a step. He then plants his feet and unleashes a roar of pure rage. More farce, Heart Emperor? Powerful mimetics are inherited endlessly, shaping the will of every soul. Look upon this battlefield, Rosetta. It is precisely such mimetics that drive your ferocity. Deny it all you wish, but this is what the world requires. Zack charges Rosetta again, lance raised. Its tip slithers like a venomous snake past her light sword, aiming straight for her chest. In the same instant, Rosetta spins her weapon, deflecting the thrust with a short, sharp, forceful parry. Oh, more like Farce Heart Emperor. I get it. More like Farce Heart Emperor. And then the crowd goes, "Oh!" We don't need some grand unifying ideal. Fighting for humanity. That single belief is enough to unite us. A naive ideal, just like your amalgamation. These are merely flashes of conscience that emerge when death is imminent. Human nature is the most unreliable thing of all. It's exactly why we create rules and various forms of social order. To restrain that nature. That's not meant to be restraints. Why must you force everything into rigid frameworks? This is wisdom paid for in blood. Amalgamation is the answer this world needs. What answer? What wisdom? Do you know how much suffering your kind has brought to this land? Propelled by her armored skirt, Rosetta rockets upward just as Zack's wings carry him aloft. They meet in a violent aerial duel. Every impact distorts the very air, their clashing energies compressing space and making the auroras ripple like banners in a storm. I concede. Some lessons are born of desire, but there were also those who gave their passion, their lives sincerely. For them, for all who acted in service of a prosperous people, their efforts shall not fade into nothingness. I will make the Arctic Root Union the most powerful mimetic of all. Everything you speak of is the past. It is not over. We and Sophiasburg still remain. Rosetta, use that power now! Answer my call, Malkuth! Noticing Zack's unsteady movements, you bark an immediate command. Rosetta shifts into her centaur form midair, her twin cannons flaring into wings of light that drive Zack into the ground. His mask cracks with a sharp snap, scattering fragments across the snow. Oh, so he was still pretty. That was just a mask. I see. Well, that's better, I guess. Zack staggers upright, leaning heavily on his blade. The last of his mask shatters away, and for the first time in this state, he faces Rosetta fully exposed. Without the mask, the exhaustion and fanaticism in his eyes are laid completely bare. Meanwhile, the energy reserves in Rosetta's frame bleed toward empty. This centaur transformation will be her last. Past glories, your sacred mission, the righteous cause behind your war. None of that matters to me. From the start, I've never cared about the Arctic Root Union itself. Only the people living within it. Rosetta withdraws her weapons of energy beams, gathering herself for a final strike. In that moment, the distant bombardment intensifies. The deep rumble of artillery, soldiers' cries, screams of agony, and wail songs merge into a single unbroken wail on the wind. Zack jerks his head up, a flicker of hesitation crossing his eyes before he quashes it. Then, matching Rosetta's stance, he begins to muster his own remaining energy for a decisive blow. If you're mimetic, if the Arctic Root Union only brings this kind of suffering, then it has lost all meaning to me. I will show Commandant a new Sophiasburg, one where people no longer live in fear of the past. That is why I will now do exactly what you are doing. Their charge completes. The cores within Rosetta and Zack glow with an identical blinding intensity. Weapons are gripped, bodies are lowered. In a mirrored stance, they brace for the end. I will destroy the Arctic Root Union right here! Destroy all of you, mimetics that bring nothing but pain! Rosetta! Zack! Zack roars, charging forward just as flames erupt from Rosetta's metal hooves. Their collision echoes across the ice with a deafening metallic clash, fracturing the ground into a web of fissures. The resulting shockwave blasts nearby snowdrifts into the air, making even the distant auroras tremble. This final all-out strike crowns the victor. Damn it. Rosetta stands victorious. Zack is frozen in place, his armor smoldering, joints sparking from overload. His body is a landscape of scars and fresh damage. Even if you reject me, the world will still fracture. Dissonant mimetics will keep emerging. And humanity will fall to corruption. Zack's arms fall limply to his sides, his voice drained of all strength, leaving nothing but desolation. Suddenly Italian mafia music. and then he says, "But it's okay, but I'll make you an offer you can't refuse, Rosetta." When that time comes, will you truly be able to suppress those mimetics, as you have today? Rosetta is not alone in this world. I had to say why. It's all because of you. Not alone in this world. Zack appears unsatisfied, his brow furrowed in a silent protest. But the tension melts away as quickly as it came, and his voice softens to a whisper, quiet as falling snow. Rosetta, I have a request. Speak. I ask this only as a patriot, Rosetta. Please, let this snow-white land become Earth's brightest beacon, visible even from the depths of space. Snow and wind scour the battlefield as Rosetta adjusts her stance. Fragments of ice cling to her hooves. I refuse. If we make it too conspicuous, I cannot guarantee others won't target it later. Zack is left speechless. His mouth opens, closes, and settles into a weak, strained smile before he turns toward the palace. Under the shimmering aurora, his silhouette stands alone, a rigid, solitary figure clinging to his dignity. Where are you going? To end this war. You go and declare your victory.
Luke, my boy, I've known you since a long time. I think of you as a brother. But my boys sees you as a potential turncoat that needs to take an eternal midnight swim in the reservoir of however mafia movies do torture work.
How was that? Was that good? Let's go, Commandant. Is it wise to let him leave? He is the Frostheart Emperor after all. I believe he can handle what comes next. Emerald auroras ripple across the icy plains. Wind drives snow and fine ice crystals beneath collars and cuffs. Though unanswered questions linger, Zack's words hold true. The moment has come to declare victory. Yeah, I've never seen a mafia movie either. Zack returns to the palace, intent on halting the production of the corrupted, ending his amalgamation, and drawing a final line under the war. But as he enters the throne room, he notices Duryodhana waiting beside the throne, a faint aura of punishing swirling around her form. Your method of control was more entertaining. Duryodhana's voice carries amusement, but her eyes are cold as ice. She was the first to sense a Sephira's existence, the one who shattered the glacier and found the awakened Zack. Though she intended to simply turn him into a corrupted and take him away, Zack made her a counter-offer. His help in waging war on humanity, in exchange for her power and forces, with himself as payment once it was over. While the terms were hardly favorable, waging war against humanity suited Duryodhana's purposes. Now that the fighting has ended, she has come to collect. A perfectly reasonable claim. I'm sorry. I have nothing to offer the punishing virus. Expected. Duryodhana shrugs. Then the punishing energy surges around her as she gathers her strength. I've been betrayed before, and I don't believe you'd admit defeat without a fight!
Stand down, Ascendant.
Just as she's about to move, Rumyantsev emerges from the shadows. His scale-covered hand seizes Duryodhana's wrist in an iron grip. From every corner of the hall, a red light begins to pulse, a dire warning of imminent overload.
Frostheart Emperor!
For humanity. For the homeland I love. Go to hell with me, Ascendant. For an instant, a red inferno swallows the palace, flames and violent energy erupting through its shattered roof, before the snowstorms and auroras cloak the devastation. In that fleeting burst of light, Zack's mind flashes to his first glimpse of Earth. A perfect, serene blue orb, encircled by a tapestry of distant, glittering stars. You want her to scold and degrade you? I think she's a little bit more of the beat you up and degrade you type. Although she might be dead. The war has finally come to an end. And now, Phase 5. The falling action. The characters you find hot or attractive always die? Well, let me ask you a question, Ashfrost. How many of them are villains? Because that might have something to do with it. Amid the dawn. Is it over? Shortly after the news of Rosetta's victory over the Frostheart Emperor echoed across the battlefield, the palace exploded. In the blast's aftermath, the Frostheart Emperor's forces fell into disarray, as though their strings had been severed. As the last of the Red Aurora bled from the sky, the two remaining warlords and the Ascendant Duryodhana vanished without a trace. Some of them can be morally gray. Okay. With their commanders gone and their armies in chaos, the war finally seems to be over. I've heard the Frostheart Emperor triggered that explosion himself. On the second day after everything is settled, post-war cleanup is in full swing. Just as you are about to head out on schedule, you find Rosetta waiting outside your door. Together, you arrive here, in this silent, snow-covered expanse. Then he's dead. Damn. Pour one out for another hot villain. After speaking, Rosetta falls silent for a moment, as if paying her respects. When she finally looks up again, the melancholy has lifted from her eyes. You don't talk mess about my taste, and then you call me Mr. I like them tall, blonde, and nice with a mix of childhood friends to lovers type beat? I mean, yeah, you're not wrong. Commandant, I think Zack was right about some things. But letting the Arctic Route Union become that kind of mimetic was far too extreme, no matter how I look at it. You once called this a barren wasteland. I did say that. Seeing beautiful scenery now doesn't change what this land fundamentally is. Even if Zack had won and the Union started conquering the world, how many resources does this place really have for a prolonged war? How far could this so-called power of amalgamation really carry the Arctic? My answer is pessimistic. You don't know what Cole's type is or what type of shipping dynamics he likes, so you can't talk shit? Well, from what I've seen, it seems like Cole definitely prefers, like, pretty guys, as opposed to, like, the more rugged type. From what I've seen. There's this guy, Zack, you know? And there was that one other guy from, like, one of the side stories in this game, Hanif. That one hot guy with the really nice arms and, like, the kind of dark hair. You remember him from the Vera chapter? That's why I must stop it, no matter the cost. But if another world hegemon appeared, I wouldn't necessarily oppose it. He's dead, so you have to move on. It happens, unfortunately. As long as they don't follow Zack's example, using force to coerce, distorting people's will. It might sound radical, but I think it's what most people feel. Everyone has their limits. People focus on their own lives first. As for grand ideas of amalgamation, like Zack said, such things could be entrusted to memetics passed down through time, as long as we can ensure those entities have no ill intentions. To me, that would be acceptable. And personally, if such an entity did exist, one powerful enough to encompass even the Arctic Root Union and improve lives here, I wouldn't consider that a bad thing. In that case, the Arctic Root Union might vanish. It wouldn't matter if it vanished. Not after all I've said. Yeah, because it's not the ARU itself that matters, it's the people in it. Everyone's been bound by that name for too long. Snow is beautiful, but when it threatens your roof, you clear it away. I'm not denying what our predecessors did. All the love given to me remains in my mind. But what the world becomes after this, it shouldn't be decided by the wishes of those who came before us, but by the path we forge ourselves, here and now. My biggest wish is perhaps just to live well, so that if I ever meet those who loved me, I can stand tall and tell them, I'm doing well now. With those words, she releases a heavy breath, the long tightened knot in her heart at last coming undone. By the way, Commandant, our scouts found something you should see. You're investigating the Ascendants, right? Is it about Duryodhana? Possibly. In the old Sophiasburg, we found several newly built installations that resemble base stations. All show a high concentration of the punishing virus residue. They're scattered, though. Vehicles can't access the areas, and walking would take too long. So, Commandant, from here, you'll have to ride on my back. Is this really a good idea? If you're worried about comfort, I had a saddle specially made. The craftsman guaranteed it would help you recapture the joy of childhood. You have no idea what recapturing the joy of childhood entails here, but Rosetta's earnest expression makes one thing perfectly clear. There's no way out of this ride. Well then...
There you are, Luke! Finally found you!
Thank goodness. I was worried you got lured off by strangers again, Commandant.
What?
Indeed. When we found you weren't at the base, we were concerned something had happened. Why do I feel like you two are hinting at something else? Chief, there's a report here that requires your attention. Wait a minute. Were Lee and Noan being jealous of me just now? I could be wrong. I can be a little accident prone when left alone. Maybe a little. These writers are definitely the hetero creature type. To be clear, I don't think Lee and Noan were jealous that I get to ride on Rosetta's back. I think they're jealous that I don't get to ride on their backs. This is more of one of those everybody is player sexual type games, from what I've seen anyway. And if you don't believe me, I think I mentioned this before, but one of the new things in like the Babylonia game mode in this update is like a new side storyline with Lee, and they showed a preview of it during like the preview live stream a week or two ago. And oh my god, Cole. Oh my god.
Yeah, yeah. It was. Humana. I trust I've made my point.
It is Dr. Bear, Lee, Noan, Palma, and Simon. The latter looking distinctly unwell, his face pale. They have just spoken as they round the corner, appearing one after the other like a procession. I might stream that side story just because it might be fun to watch me get be like, oh, Lee. At their sudden appearance, Rosetta's face briefly flickers with disappointment. Whether her reaction comes from having her plans disrupted or something else is unclear. In the end, she only offers a resigned smile and recites her classic line. It really isn't my lucky day.
So after this war, you believe without Gestalt, humanity requires a new form of power to combat the punishing virus. Something like Malkuth.
You can't spell glee without Lee? That's right. I mean, you could, but you'd be wrong.
Malkuth may not be complete yet, but its power has already shown us it's possible. Our research into the mind remains in its preliminary stages. Reactivating the phylotree of Usia currently presents the most viable option. The combat performance of Limpidity has already demonstrated its potential to shift the tide of battle.
I want to be like those FemMC in those trash romance books, being like, oh, Lee, we have a job to do. Our relationship might mix business with pleasure. Cue dramatic vomiting. Trashy romance books, you mean? No, I want more of a, like cute, mutual pining, friendship escalating into romantic territory type thing.
The resources to activate it again are the least of our worries. If something goes wrong,
Other people have already set their sights on them. Typical white bread romance beats? I like them.
The assault on Babylonia followed the development of Liv's limpidity frame. Urzak, the Frostheart Emperor, and the Ascendant, who claims herself as Duryodhana, to appear together in the Arctic region. Everything is far too coordinated to be chance.
Also, I feel like these days, more toxic romances are more the norm, honestly. Feels like every day I'm seeing a new toxic yaoi. Or some new enemies to lovers book is going viral on Book Talk or whatever. It's just not for me most of the time.
But this project has been shelved for quite some time now. After all these years, as you know, nearly all related research materials were permanently destroyed during the post-pandemic age, for those reasons.
Yeah, those reasons. Those reasons. Where's the fluff? Where's the vanilla? Where's the slice of life? Yeah. Looks at every toxic yaoi Deku Bakugo doujins. Oh my god. That was a ship I never understood. I mean, I guess I sort of understand it. in like a way. I understand it from like an archetypal standpoint. But like, God, no, not for me. Wait, who dis? Who dis? What if I could provide you with original documentation from the Golden Age? What? 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 Who the? Huh. They're doing it again! Inconsequential character from a side story becomes main story relevant. They're doing it again. This is Nervatia. She's a character from a side story that I've been doing off stream. It's like an AU side story. It's complicated. But she's never appeared in the main story before. Yeah, they keep doing this. When they introduce like new like side story game modes, it's always like, here's a new character who's kind of like the main focus of this game mode. They're only in this side story. For now. You were distracted by her eyes? Because they're red? I do like her design though. I like her hair. Her hair's very pretty. The door opens, revealing a woman clad in silver purple. Her metal epaulets gleam with a cold light. With measured steps, her black heels click a steady rhythm against the floor, and a faint, knowing smile touches her lips. Oh, you were talking about different eyes, weren't you? I believe you're Nervatia, Security Director at the Science Council. Also, I don't know if I'm pronouncing her name right. Nervatia, 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 something like that. We're gonna have to wait until she becomes playable. And then hopefully she'll say her own name at some point. or another character will like refer to her by name in voiced dialogue. And we do know, she is confirmed to be becoming playable. She's one of the upcoming characters. She was announced a while ago, along with this like most recent batch of new like upcoming character reveals that also included Teddy and Rosetta's new frames. Oh, you like that necklace? Yeah. Out of the 5 new construct frames that were teased, she was the only one who is like a completely new playable character. Everyone else is a character who's been playable, but is just getting a new frame. And if they're going in the order that they were teased, which they have so far, first they teased Teddy and then Rosetta, and then Teddy came out first and then Rosetta. If they're going in the order that they teased, Nervatia is next up. So she could be a major figure in the next update. Nervatia cuts into the conversation with a respectful nod toward the communication screen. The Carthaki radiation zone, once the cradle of humanity's mind research, is now buried under deadly red mist, along with countless invaluable documents, all due to the Great Actilic Explosion. According to recent military intelligence, an ascendant has been attempting to reach that mist-filled city. To speak plainly, President Hassan, we are not the only ones with an interest in the phyllotree of Usia. Time, I fear, is running short. In the shadows of the abandoned research facility, metal fragments glint coldly on the dust-covered floor. Nearby, Broken experimental pipelines coil in the corners like frozen serpents. Shall I call you... Wait, no, I don't remember what voice I did for this person. Shall I call you Duryodhana now, Doctor? Didn't you also rebrand yourself John Doe? And this little hideout of yours, quite the labyrinth. I wandered outside for an eternity before finding my way in. Though she's not dead, I figured. The heavy rusted iron door groans open, revealing Duryodhana on the other side. Her body is marked by obvious wounds, yet she bears them with an air of utter indifference. They did mention in the files that her frame is incredibly resistant to damage. Plus, I just didn't figure that they would discard a new antagonist that quickly. She's alive, but Zack bites the dust. I know. But he got a boss fight already, and she didn't. We gotta at least wait for a boss fight before she kicks the bucket. At least, I assume. So, what did you uncover on your Arctic excursion? You mentioned catching the scent of a Sephira before you left. I misjudged. Only the faintest trace. Nothing substantive. Even the best of us err occasionally, don't we? Let's avoid quarrels that might breed discord, Duryodhana. How tedious. So, what occupies you now? Duryodhana's gaze locks onto the control panel in front of John Doe, immediately catching on a piece of translucent golden amber. Encased within is a sleeping young girl, her eyelashes dusted with frost. From her chest, transparent tendrils emerge, coiling like thin snakes against the amber's inner walls, and still writhing slowly. Oh? This. It carries that same scent. I can manage here. You're injured. Return to that one first. And while you're there, report on FOS's status. Poaching another's prey is rather poor form indeed. Best of luck. If you end up dead in this place, I'll come collect what remains. The two share no real connection. They are merely temporary allies pursuing the same goal. After Duryodhana departs, she doesn't even bother to close the door. Cold wind sweeps in, scattering dust across the floor. John Doe ignores the open door, his fingers tapping a brief command on the control panel. Yes, Ash Frost, I suppose she can scold you. Immediately, the amber begins to glow. Pale golden tendrils unfurl from its base, creeping silently across the floor and coiling around nearby equipment. A moment later, the girl inside stirs. Her eyelids flutter, then open.
What time is it now?
Step outside and see for yourself. A wind gusts through the doorway, stirring dust from the floor and rusting the silently encroaching tendrils. Rustling, not rusting. The air thickens with an indefinable malice, as if something else is awakening alongside those tendrils, slowly regaining consciousness.
Oh, that's it? Oh man, I was hoping we'd at least get to see them.
I don't know if it was Aisling from before or if it was somebody else. Also, we get one more file. Zack, Frostheart Emperor, post-war supplementary intelligence brief. Intelligence category, enemy core figure post-battle analysis. Source, Rosetta's testimony, ARU genealogical fragments, on-site investigation. 1. Core identity and background supplementation. lineage and career. Descendant of the Frostheart Emperor collateral line. Distant relation, outside the core succession. Served initially as an astronaut before transferring to military service. Military personnel, or military profile. Rose as a Hawk faction commander, known for his hard-line stances and decisive command. Rapid promotion was earned through martial achievements. Cultivated significant popular support via repeated demonstrations of integrity and justice, coupled with a dignified bearing. Being easy on the eyes probably helped too. Power ascent. During the period of civil unrest, led a rebellion of young officers, motivated by dissatisfaction with the reigning Frostheart Emperor's governance. The revolt was later suppressed by the then warlord Rumyantsev. The subsequent transformation of their relationship into one of sovereign and vassal remains unexplained. 2. Current status. Confirmed deceased. Suspected connection to... We got everything. We got all the achievements. Withering Crown. I will forever love my motherland. Alright, we're all done. That was a fun chapter. I liked it. It was, very... I liked the, like, you know, large-scale battle stuff. All of the, like, reversals and tide turnings. It was engaging. And fun. Plus, there's more groundwork being laid for future stuff. We're still learning, we're still slowly but surely learning more about this new Ascendant group. And now Nervati is here. Wonder if PGR's official Twitter has posted anything about the next update, or if it's still too early. Yeah, no, it's still too early. Alright, well, in that case, we're done here. Thanks everybody for coming along and doing the new story chapter with me. I had fun. I hope everybody else had fun too. No, thank you. Thank you, Cole. Thank you. Now I'm looking through my raid history, because there are a few different people who are streaming right now, and I want to see which one of them I raided. Which one of them it's been the longest since I've raided. Has it been that long since I raided Kieran? Doesn't feel like it, but I guess it has. So I think we're going to raid Kieran. So you think you'll get the drawing done this evening? Good luck, Ash Frost, but don't strain yourself, okay? Be kind to yourself. Wait a second. Yeah, I think I will I think I will raid Kieran. Alright. So let's go. Oh, that means you have to cut back on self-deprecating humor about yourself? Oh no. Whatever will you do? Hehehe. Be kind to yourself. Against your own will. Okay, yes. Please join me for the raid. And let's go say hi to Kieran. Okay, he is doing a drawing stream. Alright. Goodbye, everybody. I will be back on Friday night to do the new Wuthering Waves story update. I'm very excited about it. So I'll see you then. Bye-bye, everybody. Have a nice rest of your week. Bye-bye. Thank you for coming.